Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another China How It Is. Today, or probably later this evening, or whenever I get the time, I'm going to sit down and talk to you all about Chinese eating etiquette. All right? Just like in the West, we have various rules on what to do when we sit down at a formal dinner or sit down at a table with important clients, friends, or family. Chinese people also have similar, well, very different actually, but they also have rules. So I'm going to basically take you through those eating etiquette and some drinking etiquette too, since drinking is a big part of Chinese culture. I have already done a very drunken drinking etiquette video, which I'm going to post right here. You can go there if you want right now and take a look. I made that a few years ago when I was absolutely drunk, just having come back from a meeting. So it's quite fun, and I do cover most everything in there, but I'm going to go over it in a more civilized and sober fashion this time around. So stick around for this, the next China How It Is. Well, the weather is awful. It's very strange. It's actually very hot and humid outside, and it's kind of like a sauna, really. If I go out right now, if I'm wearing my glasses, they'll steam up. And yet it's raining. Just one of the oddities of Shenzhen. Anyway, I'm talking about eating and drinking etiquette, and yes, it's been difficult for me to sit down and actually, you know, I missed an opportunity. I had a big lunch with some of the doctors that I train, and I wish I had gotten some film, but I forgot to bring my camera. I did, however, take a picture of the table. So here's a picture of the table. This is a very normal, average sort of situation you'd find yourself in when you are eating with a supplier or with clients or with anyone really. If you meet people and they invite you out, you'll find yourself sitting at a table very similar to this. In the middle we have what's called a lazy Susie, which swivels around and allows us easy access to our food. Anyway, let's get down to the actual eating etiquette itself. Alright, so I'm in a dim sum restaurant. Very, very typical in the south of China to find restaurants like this. And yeah, excuse me, I've just been out riding and I just stopped here to make a video and continue the whole eating and drinking etiquette thing. Show you what you get on your table. Your normal table is your teacup, your little plate, bowl and a spoon, and your chopsticks. That's your normal sort of tableware that you'll find. Now in China, what we usually do in the south of China anyway is we wash this stuff, but I'm not sure about this restaurant. We'll see. Alright, so alright, cool. So let me show you how this works. Basically, it's difficult. See that thing over there? That's for your waste tea. Take your tea, the first cup of tea, and you clean your utensils. Now it's difficult. Let me try and position this so you can see what the hell I'm doing. Can you see that? Yeah, more or less. Basically, what you want to do is you want to pour some chopsticks. Clean up the chopsticks. Of course, you want to clean your bowl. Clean your plate. You should kind of turn it this way. Make sure you clean it properly. And then yes, you basically, once you're sure everything's nice and clean, right? Pour it into this sort of bowl over here. That's what this bowl is for, right? Usually you can turn it as you pour to make sure you get all the edges. I can't do it properly one-handed, but you know, you just basically, that's the idea of the whole. Sorry. That's the idea of this. You don't drink your first cup of tea. That's weird, because you know, you wash your cups and you wash your bowls and you wash your plates with your first cup of tea. Right. This is poorer cha, by the way. Now, tea in China is like wine in the West. We've got many different kinds, and there are many different rituals involved. So I'm going to teach you one thing that you should know about tea that's quite important. when someone pours tea, it's actually very polite to do this on the table. You know, it's kind of like tap the table with your two fingers. Sort of, the legend goes that an emperor was traveling incognito and his servants weren't allowed to bow to him in public. So when he poured them tea, they would, you know, tap their fingers to show they were bowing to him. Something along those lines. Anyway, if someone pours tea for you, just do that. Just tap fingers as they're pouring, and they'll feel as if you're a very polite kind of a person. Also, that can apply to beer and other drinks too. So theoretically, I should be tapping my fingers now, but I'm pouring my own tea, so I don't have to. Okay, so that's a bit of the tea etiquette that you need to know. Well, my Tai Chin has arrived. I'll tell you about dim sum. The way it works is you have to order off this menu what you want. There's no English, so you have to know what you want. Or you can just point at something and I don't know, play the lottery. Anyway, when they come, they'll put a stamp to say that it's arrived. This kind of food is called dim sum or yam cha or zao cha. It's all a southern Chinese thing. So dim sum is actually only really a Cantonese thing. Find it everywhere down here. Of course, it is popular now all over the world. But just so you know, it's not like you can just go to China and get dim sum. You'd have to really be in the south to find it, you know, commonly anyway. Let's get on to some eating etiquette here. In the West, when we sit down at a table, we usually wait until everybody has their food before we begin to eat. You know, at least polite people do. In China, because food is a little different, let's say if we were sitting here together, we would all share the food. So this would arrive first and everybody would take some. So we don't have that whole waiting for everybody to get their food thing, because the food that arrives is for everybody, which changes a lot when it comes to the eating etiquette and the table manners, all that. So yeah, basically you don't have to wait. But if there's a host, like an important person, you should wait for them to sort of give the go-ahead, do the whole kai fan thing, you know, bon appetit or let's eat. So that's one big difference between Western and Chinese etiquette anyways. You don't have to wait. Let's see what's next. Ah, awesome. My favorite has arrived. Chasabao. Got like a barbecue pork inside. I like a balsa. It's really awesome. Really, really good. From my experience, if you're eating with people, and you know, like the first photo I showed you, where you've got the big round lazy Susie. If you're a guest, they'll treat you with priority. In other words, they will, when a new dish arrives, they'll first move it around to you and ask you to try it first. This is very normal, so I'm always very polite, give it a try, tell them it tastes good, etc., etc. Even if I think it tastes shite. But you know, that's just normal table manners. So I expect that to happen a lot. What else? Yes, something about rice and chopsticks. In China, usually people order a bowl of rice. It's the normal starch, you know. In the West we have bread or potatoes, but here in China people have a bowl of rice. Whatever you do, don't stick your chopsticks into your rice and leave them there, because that's similar to some religious thing, some Buddhist thing, which symbolizes death or something. So you don't want to do that. What else? Basic table manners apply, of course. Trying to think if there's anything else. Ah, yes, another thing, serving chopsticks. If you go to a nicer restaurant, or if you know, in a more expensive place, when the dishes, all the dishes are shared. When the dishes arrive, they'll have a set of chopsticks like placed on the dish, usually like that, separate to your own chopsticks. This is obviously to prevent the spread of germs and so on, because if everyone's taking off the plate with the chopsticks that they're eating with, of course it's easy to spread germs. So don't just grab stuff. If you see a pair of serving chopsticks, as they're called, just use them to dish the food onto your plate. Yeah. Another thing I've noticed is when somebody wants a tissue, you know, remember I told you all about these tissues before. Anyway, when somebody wants a tissue, usually what they'll do is, come on, open up. Difficult to do this one-handed. Is they'll actually offer them around. Like if you're sitting next to me, I'd put one down in front of your plate for you, and then I'd, you know, put one down for another person over there, and then I'd take my own tissues. I'm being stalked over here by a little child. Anyway, and then you take your own tissue. So it's kind of like offer the tissues around because everybody's going to need them when you eat. You know, it's another thing I picked up. As you can see, the lovely waitress there just came and poured my tea for me, and they'll do that, and she'll go and add some water. She's just topping it up and she'll bring it back. It's sort of like a bottomless tea, I guess. They do charge you for tea if you want nice tea. Most restaurants will give you free. 谢谢你啊。
没有，中文很好啊。
哪里？
没有。
好。So yeah, as you can see, this particular tea is called pu'er cha. It's very good for your stomach, and it's I like the taste anyway. Get many different kinds. Like I was saying, just like wine in the West, you get tons of different kinds of tea here. My favorites include jasmine tea, which is moli hua cha, tia guanyin, which is like a kind of a green tea, I think. Of course, you get oolong and all that, but pu'er is my new favorite. Right, I wanted to get into the whole drinking etiquette thing, but I don't have enough time now, and I won't be able to drink until Saturday. I'm too busy. So I thought I'd just include this link. Here is my old drinking etiquette video. I made it when I was extremely drunk, just come back from drinking with a bunch of government officials. I think it probably will tell you everything you need to know and more. I hope this was informative. I didn't really have the opportunity to, you know, do a proper video. I would like to have sat down with a bunch of people and shown you properly how it's done. Unfortunately, I've just been too busy. So anyway, I hope you found this video fun and interesting, and I'll start working on the next one soon. By the way, that little meal just cost me 21 RMB, which is nothing. And actually, it wasn't a lot, but I feel full. All the tea I can drink in the world, and 21 RMB is really not bad, eh? One last thing. See this fake flower they put on my table? That's to indicate that you paid your bill. So if someone comes and puts a fake flower, they usually bring it with the bill on your table. Just means you paid up. Just FYI. Don't get freaked out. They're not trying to hit on you.